His eyes have so well left clean out there. Hey, misunderstanding, can't you see? Mother Earth, for the kiss you bleed. Your riches mean nothing to the trees. Time to act, not just to please. We seas once alive, now deadly sea. Future stolen while we're asleep. Change is what we swear to keep. Millions march with fiery eyes, united under burning skies. We won't let this world be lies. Rise together, hear our cry. Oh, can't you see? Mother Earth, for a kiss you bleed. Your riches mean nothing to the trees. Time to act, not just to be. Okay, well, that was a crazy first day, full of surprises and dog whistles apparently not working anymore, and just straight out coming out with how they feel about things. So I got a few things to go through here, a few articles. This is from the BBC, and there's a video of Elon doing the Roman/Nazi salute twice. I'm not gonna. You know what it looks like. You've seen American History X. You've now seen the clips of Elon doing it. I think this is streaming. Okay, so Elon Musk. Let me make sure this is working. Okay, yeah, we got 2 viewers. Okay, cool. Because it's not showing on my iPad. Anyway, Musk responds to backlash over gestures at the Trump rally. This is BBC. And then it's just him doing his salute twice. Musk has caused outrage over a one-arm... Oh, it says over a... It's not over a single one-arm salute. It's over 2 one-arm gestures he gave during a speech celebrating the inauguration of Donald Trump. Musk thanked the crowd for making it happen before placing his right hand over his heart and then thrusting the same arm out straight into the air in front of him. Then he turned, repeated the action for those sitting behind him, so he did it twice. Making on X, a social media platform, Twitter. He likened the gesture to the Nazi salute on Twitter. On Twitter, they were talking about how it was a Nazi salute. Musk posted on Twitter, frankly, they need better dirty tricks. The everyone is Hitler attack is so tired. Like, they know what they're doing. They've got all the power. And now they're just joking with the base about how they got it done. So the article continues. Musk, the world's richest man and close ally of Trump, was speaking at the Capital One Arena when he made the gesture. He says, my heart goes out to you. It's thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. There's immediate backlash on social media. Yeah, like nothing. Everyone, even shitlibs are talking about this. Like everyone's realizing how bad it is and how Kamala just wasn't the answer to Trump. Joe Biden was barely the answer to Trump too, the first time around. The Roman salute was widely used in Italy by Benito Mussolini's fascist party before being later adopted by Adolf Hitler in Germany. Stropa later deleted this post. Italian media said he later posted that gesture, which some mistook for a Nazi salute, is simply Elon, who has autism, expressing his feelings by saying, "I want to give my heart to you," he said. That's exactly what he communicated to the microphone. Elon dislikes extremists. The gesture comes as Musk's politics have increasingly shifted to the right. Remember when he was on Joe Rogan and they were like talking about Bernie, or at least Joe Rogan liked Bernie, and he was socially left, Elon was, and now he's just full on doing salutes like that. He's made recent statements in support of Germany's far right AFD party and British anti immigration party Reform UK. Appearing in the Davos of the World Economic Forum's annual meeting, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz was asked about the comparison to Nazi salutes, something that is banned in Germany. Yeah, you always talk about free speech, and it's like certain hate speech shouldn't be free, because then if we tolerate people's, you're not supposed to. The right conservatives, they want to be like, tolerate my intolerance, and it's like, well, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, if someone says you don't have the right to live and that's my opinion, then you can't tolerate that opinion of someone else. That's just infringing on people's First Amendment right, or the rights denied. Yeah, they're granted to them in the Constitution. They're going to be denied. Rights are going to be denied soon. We have freedom of speech in Europe and in Germany, but what we do not accept is that supporting extremist right positions, and this is, I would like to repeat that, but some has defended Musk, including the Anti-Defamation League, an organization founded to combat anti-Semitism. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute, but he did it twice to the front of the crowd and the back of the crowd. They're lying. So that's the BBC. Then we got some live updates on Trump's executive orders. Let me refresh this page just in case anything's happened. What we know about yesterday, Trump's first full day in the second term. This is a full list. Okay, I got a list here in brief of what it is, and I'm going to read the article, I guess. Trump declares a national emergency at the border with Mexico. Donald Trump designated human trafficking cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. I guess it's the human trafficking cartels. I thought it was the drug cartels. I guess it's one and the same. I don't know. This is just going to cause havoc at the southern border, and Mexico, New Mexico, Arizona, California, those are all bordering states that have Democratic senators, so I don't know, or governors, so I don't know. Texas obviously is going to be lock and step with Trump. Reinstating the Remain in Mexico policy, so they're just bringing it back no matter what country of origin they came from. They're just going to put them back to Mexico and make it Mexico's problem. He ended birthright citizenship for illegal migrants. So technically, if he didn't word it in there, none of us would be legal. Because he only said migrants' children are not legal birthright citizen. So that means that if you didn't put the few words in there, that you and I would not be citizens any longer in the United States, because we are of birthright citizens. So just because someone is born on Earth's soil, now it doesn't, on American soil, it doesn't mean they're a citizen now because of Trump, just depending on who your parents are. And that goes directly against the Constitution, and he's getting a lot of flack and pushback, and they're suing him today for it. Not suing him today, but they're drawing up paperwork and stuff they need to do to challenge him because he's going against the Constitution. He declared that there's only two sexes. Excuse me. Male and female are recognized by the United States government. So I guess Caitlyn Jenner, his friend that supported him, is now Bruce Jenner? I don't understand how any of this works. Do we go back to dead naming people? Are they just phantoms? Are trans people phantoms? Or like when are only two sexualities going to be embraced? You're straight for the opposite sex. Are gay people and lesbian, like where's the line with this? removal of diversity, equity, and inclusion, so DEI, policies in federal government. He said in his speech he's going to hire based on merit. And, why won't this open? He's going to hire based on merit, and that's fine. But I just fear that, was there really that much of it going on? And it wasn't just to show our great, rich country's history of diversity and the melting pot of cultures. This just seems like the beginning of white Christian nationalism. And he's acting like it's not. Donald Trump's sign on leaving the Paris. Oh, yeah. I need to breathe more. I keep yawning. Donald Trump signs leaving the Paris Climate Accord. So you can kiss a manageable climate and growable crops out the window because it's not. Look at the South. They're experiencing a crazy storm right now, from Houston, Texas, all the way to the Panhandle of Florida. It's just a blizzard, and they're not. The power structure, like the infrastructure, the towers, the transformers, the poles, the lines aren't meant to handle that. Especially in Texas, because they got their own, they're off the grid or whatever. They're off the national grid. So these storms, winter, or these firestorms, these wildfires are going to be continuously increasing. And insurance companies are not going to insure people anymore. They're going to close up shop, and we're just going to eventually be bankrupt as a society and country because we can't afford all these climate disasters. And Trump signed an executive order to leave it after he did in 2017, and then Biden got us back in with the Paris Climate Accord. Now we're back out, so it's like nothing ever happened because the Green New Deal never happened because Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, the two Democrat senators that held Joe Biden back, even though Bernie would have saved us, but we were stuck with Biden. Declaring a national emergency, a national energy emergency, allowing Trump to speed up the acquisition of oil permits. So he's probably going to do all that drilling off the coast that Biden stopped. Ending federal regulations, encouraging the sale of electric vehicles. I thought that him and Elon had this great deal together that they were going to... I don't know what Elon thinks about running Tesla if there's not a mandate to buy his vehicles, if he's trying to outperform China's electric vehicles. China's just going to pass this up so quick. It's going to be... They're more green. They got a long way to come socially. But I mean, now so does the United States, to be honest. Trump was implementing Schedule F to reduce job protections for potentially thousands of federal employees. I'm not sure what this is. I need to look into that more in this video or another video. He's moving the U.S. Space Command headquarters back to Alabama. I'm not sure what the reasoning there, if it's it was a certain general or... I don't know why you would move it in Alabama. There's going to be so many hurricanes and so many blizzards, apparently, with unstable vortexes, polar vortexes that are going to come in the years to come. So I don't know why we would move the headquarters to Alabama and not somewhere in the Midwest like Iowa, Missouri, or Illinois or something like that, where it's more safe from hurricanes and wildfires or even blizzards like the South is experiencing right now. And of course, promising to, like he was shitting on Dr. Fauci for the last 4 years. He's leaving. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Leaving the World Health Organization. So that's all the Trump orders. And here I got some lists. Let's see if it got updated. What to know about Trump's first full day in the second term. His first full second day in term, Trump was set to announce Tuesday afternoon billions of dollars in private sector investment to build artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. So that's what CBS is telling us. So they're trying to make company towns smart cities, or what's going on with that? I guess Elon Musk and the tech billionaires want to like start getting on pace with China. I didn't even know about any of this, so that could be cool. But we'll see what they come to. Mr. Trump on Monday pardoned. This is the worst thing I think he did. Like it's as bad as Elon doing the Nazi salute. Mr. Trump, it says. So Trump on Monday pardoned 1,500 individuals who were convicted of crimes related to the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol. Enrique Tarrio, the former head of the far-right group of Proud Boys, who was serving a 22-year sentence for seditious conspiracy, and Stuart Rhodes, the founder of the Oath Keepers, were both released from prison. So now all these people, all these mafia, they're all just Trump's private militia. The Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the Proud Boys, KKK, anything. It's just all Trump's. They'll do Trump's bidding in secret or for him or act out, and they know Trump will pardon them no matter what they do. I'm scared to walk around. I'm scared to be seen on the street. I can't imagine what a minority or trans person or a gay or lesbian feels like right now, or anybody of minority that's not a white Christian man. Like it was always their world. It's always you know. Do you gotta rub it in our faces a little bit more that it's still a white Christian nationalist world? And now you got the Proud Boys being pardoned. Oath Keepers. Well, anyway. Trump's nominee for Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, was confirmed Monday by the Senate unanimously and sworn in Tuesday with his controversial pick of Pete Hegseth, the alcoholic, only major in the military. That was his highest rank. And he cleared a major hurdle when the Senate Armed Forces advanced his nomination. More votes could be held as soon as Tuesday. So that's today. I'll have to check if Pete Hegseth, I'll stop drinking when I get the job, Hegseth, will follow live update. Okay. John Bolton lost his Secret Service protection. That's funny. Good riddance. Yeah, so I'd be okay. Like, it's not just Trump. He didn't just pardon the nonviolent January offenders. He had pardoned everyone, even the ones that assaulted police officers. So if I was a police officer in D.C., why would you not just resign and quit? If, like, these criminals could just show up under Trump's wishes and trump the law just because Trump said so it's legal. That's the world we're living in now, and that's why I'm terrified with these MAGA hats and these red hats and these Trump 2024 flags everywhere, and it's just like, you are not safe people. Like, you will do violence and then expect pardon if you defend Trump's name or fight for Trump. This is some pretty cool context that NPR had. I know Shitlib Radio, Shitlib Resistance Radio, NPR. President Donald Trump kicked off his second term by signing in a flurry of executive actions aimed at overturning his predecessor's policies and delivering on some of the many campaign promises. Within hours of his inauguration, Trump had resigned. That's not. Yeah, that's how you spell resigned, I guess. Okay. Rescinded, sorry. Rescinded 78 of Biden's executive orders. Some took quickly, like the pardon of the January 6 people, and many including orders pausing the TikTok ban. But that ban already, why do you even have to sign an order if TikTok came back, my friends were saying, within like 8 hours, 12 hours, TikTok was back? I don't know. But Congress and the courts can potentially block executive orders in others ways. In 1952, for example, the Supreme Court ruled that Harry S. Truman did not have the authority to issue an executive order seizing steel mills to ensure their production during the Korean War. In 92, Congress nullified George H.W. Bush's executive order establishing a human fetal tissue bank for scientific research by passing a measure saying it shall not have any legal effect. Congress may pass legislation that might make it different or even impossible to carry out the order, such as removing funding. But Trump's got the Supreme Court, Congress, Senate in his hands, so he's going to be able to do anything. I don't know how the courts are going to stick up because it'll eventually go to the Supreme Court. There's nothing that's going to stop that. The difference between orders, memoranda, and proclamations. There's several different types of executive actions that presidents can take to reshape government policy without legislation. Executive orders, memoranda, and proclamations. Executive orders are directed towards and government and the actions of government officials and agencies according to the Library of Congress. They are the force of law if the topic is founded on the authority of president derived from the Constitution or statute and are required to be published in the Federal Register, the daily journal of the federal government, notifying the public. It can't replace or contravene statutes enacted by Congress. It can only fill in the gaps. Most presidents have issued at least one executive order, starting with George Washington's direct. Anyway, okay, goes most or no. Here's some other notable executive orders. President Franklin Roosevelt's 1942 order authorizing the internment camps of Japanese Americans during World War II. Okay, so what's stopping Trump from doing this to gay people, lesbian people, trans people, bisexual people, people on SSRIs, people on antidepressants, people on, I don't know, whatever, people on mood stabilizers, people on lithium, what's stopping Trump from putting anybody that disagrees with him and the Proud Boys into camps? It's just kind of scary how often executive order. It's a slippery slope with the executive orders and the Nazi salutes. It's like we're already there. There's no slippery slope left. How often are they used? Okay, so presidents have increasingly come to rely on executive orders as a tool. While some early presidents' tallies were typical in the single digits, John Adams, James Madison, and James Monroe each only ordered one, for example, that number grew steadily over the 20th century. President Theodore Roosevelt became the first to break the 1,000, averaging 154 executive orders per year in office. Franklin Roosevelt, his nephew, issued a record 3,721 during his unprecedented 12 years in office. Since then, the number of executive orders issued under each president has numbered in the low hundreds. Biden issued 162, while Trump in his first term issued 220. So he's already done like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's already done 14 or more. It's like, how many was it? It was a lot of them, right? This article doesn't say how many, but it's... Okay. Here, I got one last article for you, and then we'll see how it goes. Trump's executive orders already facing pushback and legal action. 2 hours after being sworn in, Donald Trump sat down in the president's room of the U.S. Capitol to sign the first of nearly 100 promised executive orders. The first of nearly 100? That's as much as Teddy Roosevelt in a year. That's 2/3 of what Teddy Roosevelt did in a year. A historic and hand-cramping effort that he promised would begin the complete restoration. I hope that hand never uncramps, Trump. I hope you had to sign your name so much for so much bullshit and deplorable stuff that people and kids will resent you someday, and I hope your hand never uncramps and it's just tight as a fist and you can't do anything. You can't feed yourself Big Mac cheeseburgers. You can't wipe your own fanny. You can't, whatever. Get the hand cramping effort. But his pen strokes, more like Sharpie strokes, kicked off a round of objections from opponents. Scholars and other groups have said he exceeded in limitations of his presidential power. They include some critics who filed lawsuits before the signatures were even dry because it was a Sharpie, all but guaranteeing that his approval would not be the last word on Monday's executive actions. Trump's wielding of the presidential pen spanned a wide gamut of American life and U.S. policy, even aimed at showing that he had begun to make good on his presidential promises. He declared an immigration emergency and will soon surge troops to the southern border, he said. He began to dismantle the government diversity and inclusion programs and limited the number of genders the government can recognize to only 2. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will never forget our Constitution, and we will never forget our God. The executive orders include some things that scholars and legal experts say may be out of the reach for the president's Sharpie and should be tied up in the courts or legislation for years, including ending birthright citizenship, a right embedded in the Constitution and bolstered by the Supreme Court ruling that grants citizenship to anyone born in the United States. Trump also wants to reclaim the Gulf of Mexico and rename it to the Gulf of America for some of the diciest efforts the administration laid out of its legal framework for what's certain to be the battle sparked by Trump's actions. It's kind of an executive order shock and awe campaign, said Andrew Dallek, a political historian at Washington University. The shock and awe is to send a message to his critics, most importantly to his voters, his supporters, that's at his back, that he is going to deliver on his campaign promises and that he's going to do it aggressively. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Who's he appealing to? Which ones? The ones doing the salutes? The ones with the hoods on? The ones with the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers? That's not a good base. History, World War II in America, even in the Civil War, right-wing fascism has come up and it's been defeated twice. Now, maybe it won't get defeated from the inside out in this country, but I don't think worldwide Trump fascism. How long is NATO going to go along with this? I know we're the biggest military now, but how long is it before the rest of NATO decides to side with BRICS? Look what Trump's doing. He wants America first and America only. This is what we get. Only America. And I don't think it'll be first for very long if Trump continues doing stuff like this. It's kind of executive order. Okay. Trump's initial turn to executive orders are particularly telling because the Republican Party controls the White House and both houses of Congress. Remember when they were so upset when Obama did executive orders, acting like it was a new thing he invented to just invent laws on a whim and free whim and will? Well, what about Obama? I think Trump did more executive orders in a day than Obama ever did. I don't know that for certain, but there would have been. We would have heard something if Obama did nearly 100 executive orders in one day. The right wing wouldn't have shut up about it for the last 12, 20 years, 16 years, whatever. He wants to move boldly and immediately. The acceleration of the use of executive orders allows presidents to declare policy victories on day one instead of the first 100 days, to be able to claim a policy agenda and claim it's going to affect on day one when the keen eyes of the country are focused on him. Presidents care not what they pass, but what they're seen standing for. And even if it's overturned by the courts or the next president, you've made a declaration call for what you stand for and have delivered at least a temporary victory. So yeah, this was all just for the base. Even though the national, he's throwing pins to the crowd. There's not going to be, if you're born in this country, you're going to be a citizen. That's never going to change until the Constitution's changed. And when the Constitution has changed that drastically, then we don't have a country anymore. So, some of Trump's actions faced immediate legal challenge before he had left the U.S. Capitol where he was inaugurated. 3 lawsuits raised legal questions about his appointment of Tesla founder Elon Musk to the return to run the non-governmental DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. The public interest group behind the lawsuit say the DOGE panel violates laws on transparency for government advisory groups. Shortly after winning the second term, Trump tapped Musk to lead DOGE. Okay, hired the group, staffers. In a complaint obtained by the Washington Post ahead of its filing, the public interest of law firm National Security Counselors say that the DOGE panel is breaking a 50-year-old law, the Federal Advisory Committee Act. That's before Reagan, ain't it? That requires adversary committees to the executive branch to follow specific rules on discourse, hiring, and other practices. DOGE is not exempted from the FACA requirements. Yeah, this is what I was talking about yesterday, the FACA. All meetings of DOGE, including those conducted through an electronic medium, must be open to the public. Yeah, so they're trying to get around this government bureaucracy. But no, it's all your DOGE meetings must be to the public, and none of this conspiratory behind closed doors to try to change American life and rights as we know it. And on Tuesday, the coalition of 18 states filed a lawsuit in Massachusetts saying the birthright citizenship executive order violates the constitution of thousands of children and imposes undue costs of local jurisdictions that will lose federal funding tied to the Medicaid and children's health insurance. So, they don't know what they're playing with. They like the base talking points. They like white supremacy. They like Christo-fascism. They like white Christian Christo-fascist nationalism. That's all they care about. They don't care about... It's just really sad. They'll appreciate culture. That's why you got all these country rappers now. Because they'll appreciate other cultures and indoctrinate it as their own. Conquer it as their own. But not appreciate the heritage of all these cultures. Though they like Mexican food, right? Spicy food. You don't see them eating like Germans. Or I guess Italians, but Italian food didn't have tomatoes till that happened in 1492. It is also unclear how Trump administration will attempt to weather those and other legal challenges in the future. In a call with reporters, Trump was inaugurated. Aides didn't provide details about how the president's new policies would fit into the web of existing laws and international treaties or with ongoing litigation. All modern presidents have used a flurry of executive orders to show proof of forward progress in the early moments of their tenure, and those efforts have not always been met with unmitigated success. Here's what I was talking about earlier. In 2009, newly inaugurated Obama signed an executive order to close Guantanamo Bay, the U.S. base in Cuba, and then 16 years later, the base remains open and 15 detainees are housed there. So yeah, that never happened. Joe Biden ran on an unprecedented equity agenda, and on his first day all government effort to counter system racism. Now he is a former president of his critics and allies say the enduring results of his first day mandate are scant. But Trump's flurry of first day activity threatens an expansion of executive power that critics have unsuccessfully sought to stotch since the tenure of Richard M. Nixon, observers say. There will undoubtedly be pushback, but at that point, Trump will have already claimed victory. So yeah, this is all... It's all a show. I mean, there's something... So let's go over it. Declare national... So the board... We got to worry about cities within 100... cities within 100-mile radius of the border. You should probably get your papers in order if you have them. You should probably expect a knock on the door eventually. You should probably have your papers on you at work. You should probably just remain calm and film everything. I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to start forcing us to go to churches? Which denomination is the correct Trump denomination? I don't know. We'll have to see. Let me do one more Google search, and then I'll end this stream. Let me do a song while we're listening real quick. Do 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 do. Come on, Mr. CEO, can't you see? Mother Earth for a kid she bleeds. Your riches mean nothing to the trees. Time to act, not just the peas. Fix rises, ice caps still. Well, let's clean it out there. Hey, Mr. Steve, can't you see? Mother Earth for a kid she bleeds. Your riches mean nothing to the trees. Time to act, not just the peas. Deep where oceans we squeeze once alive, now deadly steam. Future so wild and richly changes what we swear to keep. Billions march with fire in eyes, united under burning skies. We won't let this world be lies. Rise together, hear our cries. Hey, Mr. CEO, can't you see? Mother Earth, for a kid she bleeds. Your riches mean nothing to the trees. Time to act, not just to be. Okay, so I got one more article, and it's about Trump's $500 billion private sector AI infrastructure investment. And then we're out of here. Okay, so Trump to announce up to $500 billion, so $500 billion. $500 billion in private sector AI infrastructure investment. Trump is set to announce billions of dollars, $500 billion in private sector investment to build artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle are planning a joint venture called Stargate. Stargate? According to multiple people familiar with the deal. SoftBank CEO is expected at the White House Tuesday afternoon, along with Sam of OpenAI and Larry Ellison of Oracle. Executives from the companies are expected to say that the plan to commit $100 billion initially and pour up to $500 billion into Stargate over the next 4 years. Other details of the new partnership were not immediately available. Spokesperson for SoftBank and OpenAI declined to comment. Stargate will start with a data center project in Texas, sources say. So it's all in the South. He's moving stuff to Alabama and Texas. Eventually expand to other states. Other investors are expected to join the venture, but we're not immediately clear which ones. So yeah, I guess that's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Get your papers ready. Call friends. Call family. Stop having kids. Do you really want to have your kids fight fascism for the next however many years it takes to get rid of it? So anyway, volunteer your time, your money. Stay safe, and I don't know. Take it easy. Keep it greasy. I guess I don't know.